Fellas, welcome to your HSBN Media Day press conference. Coach, if you could just begin by introducing yourself and also the gentleman you have up here with you today.
Sure. Aaron Vorchak, head baseball coach at Archbishop McCarthy High School.
I'm Gregory Martinez. I'm a pitcher at Archbishop Edward A. McCarthy High School.
I'm Andres Cancedo, left fielder, and I play offense.
Coach, really, let's just start. I know last year was your first year there. You've now had that full calendar year, at the school, the program with the kids, You can't just share with me a little bit. I mean, I got to assume it's a little bit easier now having all that time to kind of get your things in place.
It is as far as knowing the guys, knowing my personnel. Obviously you have all your administrative obstacles to deal with as far as, what they sanction as far as our practice and all that goes. But no, it's been an easier transition. Coming in last year was we were trying to put everything together last minute and everything seemed kind of rushed. So been a little bit easier.
Did you maybe make any changes or adjustments to how you were doing things going back in now that you've had all that time and you kind of knew what to expect a little bit more?
Repeat, I'm sorry?
Did you make any adjustments or any kind of changes to the routine and the way you kind of approach the stuff that had to be done throughout the course of the year to get to this point?
The one thing we did was we tried to put in place where we kept our guys together for the most part during the summer and fall, trying to get them to one, play together, and two, make sure that they're playing at a high level as far as going to some travel tournaments, Perfect Game, Under Armour, and so on. But and then we implemented our weight program, so trying to get guys in the weight room, get them bigger, stronger, to go along with the skill set that they bring.
How big of a, you see much of a difference now from all that hard work in the fall? Share with me a little bit about where you're at now.
I think overall we've definitely made a huge impact. Everybody's hitting the ball way harder, still hitting the ball, same mechanics as always. That coach assistants help us down angle, but overall we've all picked up some weight and definitely benefits us 100% going to the weight room every day and picking up the weights.
Especially with some of that stuff, it gets overlooked sometimes, but there's so much team bonding through that whole process too that just occurs naturally. What's that been like from that aspect for you guys? Working through the all off season to get ready for this year.
Yeah, our team bonding's really been up there lately. I try to get the guys out every, always in the outfield, doing our cheers. Getting together, make sure that we're as a squad, a team, in one unit. Brotherhood, stuff like that. How we've always been. In the weight room, no matter what, always picking up after each other, always picking each other up and stuff like that. So I think we've really mended together as a unit this year.
And you hit right on it, which is again another one of the things that is a very valuable aspect to Archbishop McCarthy is all the traditions and some of the legacies and some of the things that you guys have made that are your niche there. If you can't just share with me how valuable and important that is to the McCarthy baseball.
That's, I think, up there. That's one of our most important ideals, I think, as a team, is holding our values and our traditions together and keeping us on our toes and stuff like that. People aren't always cheering for us, but we're always there. We're always a team, we're always a group, we'll always remember each other and love each other. So I think that's one of our number one go-tos.
And again, Coach, coming into a program that had really established, obviously they had quite a bit of success, over the years before you got there. Was there any new things that you kind of had and say, I want this to be part of some of the traditions and the things that we do here?
As far as our traditions, I try to leave. It's kind of one of those deals. If it's not broke, don't try and fix. So I try to leave that part of it up to them. What they want to do, what they want to retain. Obviously, on-field stuff, it's like I told them. I said, I have to be able to run my own defense, my own offense. 'Cause, I don't know what they did in the past, but I got to be able to run my own. And so obviously putting that in play. One of the things that I did, emphasize going into this year is, which I didn't really put an emphasis on last year, is just style of play. Hey, we want to play hard all the time. We want, that means sprinting on and off the field. You want to be the first one on, first one off type deal. Just little things like that, but nothing major. As far as any changes on my end goes. I'm just, like I said, if I were fortunate enough to do something even close to what Coach Bielski and his group did, you know, in the past, I mean, that would be pretty impressive. I'd be happy with that. So we leave it the way it is for the most part.
Yeah, and at the same time, I mean, I don't know if the guys know as much of your coaching history, but I know a little bit. I know you've enjoyed some success and had some really special things throughout your coaching career as well.
I did, but I was also at places like as a head coach at Bossier Parish Community College, you know, took over a program that really, I mean, had a lot of struggles. So, you know, yes, I mean, when I took over a program like that, we were trying to build tradition at that point, and so that, I mean, I basically wiped the slate clean, and hey, this is how we're doing it, from how you put on your uniform to, you know, how you act when we go in and eat in a restaurant, or, you know, just, I mean, little things that you don't even think about, you know, off the field type stuff. But yet, I mean, definitely different there than here, you know, as far as, you know, I think once the tradition's there, and that's what I try and tell our guys, you know, you're playing in a tradition-rich program, you know, understand where you're at, where the guys, you know, before you were at, you know, and make sure that you're proud of wearing the uniform that's across your chest. You know, that name across your chest means something. So, you know, so that's why I adjust according to what the situation is, I guess. Adapt to it.
I agree. I think it's the right adjustment done the right way.
Right.
Just like Coach said, you know, what does that mean to you to wear that uniform and be a part of that program?
Being a part of the program is huge to us, to every single one of these players. This is the one thing I care about the most in school, and I look forward to going to practice every day and getting better every day. And not only getting better every day, but being with my brothers in the field. There's nothing better than enjoying the field, being out there, throwing the baseball, playing on the diamond. There's nothing better than playing those two wide lines.
And you know, he hits right on something that again is something that you've got to love it as a coach. You know, over there, you seem to have a lot of guys that really get excited and embrace practice, which not a lot of teams are always, you know, as excited to practice as they are to play a game.
Oh, absolute. Yeah, absolute. And you know, and I still stress to our guys, because at the end of the day, you know, you look at it. One, the academic rigor over at Archbishop McCarthy is, honestly, I don't know if there are many places in Broward and Dade County that compare to it. So there's stress on the kids there, but I still stress on them. You know, hey, if you want to be as good as what you can possibly be, you not only have to do what we ask you to do, and do it to the best of your ability, but I said, you know, outside of that, what are you doing extra? Because in reality, you know, if you're a hitter, are you getting enough swings in that you need to be as good as what you can be? No. So utilize your time. If you get out to practice and you're a little bit early, hey, go in the cage and get the extra hacks in. Stay in a little bit later, get your hacks in. Take your ground balls, you know, fly balls, whatever you need to get you right, get you right. You know, as a pitcher, I mean, obviously they're limited to the amount of what they can do. But you know what, if they need, hey, I need to do some more flat ground work, get that work in. You know, it's about the work that you get in when nobody's looking. That's what separates, you know, the average from the good from the great. You know, those guys that work. You know, because I mean, I tell people all the time, you know, outside the area, from, you know, back in Louisiana, whatever, my friends, and you know, the skill level of a lot of the kids in, you know, Broward and Dade County is, I mean, it's off the chart. There aren't many places in the country that you can go where you're going to see, you know, this kind of talent all pulled together. And so, you know, learn to separate yourself from those guys. But I mean, you know, that's why I said I still preach that to them. But yes, they do. They show up. They come to work. You know, and that's the other thing. You know, I tell these, they're both seniors, and I'm like, hey, you know, I tell our guys, police each other. If a guy comes to practice that day, he's not bringing his A game, you know, pick him up. Tell him, hey, you know, hey, pick up the pace a little bit. You know, do, you know, work. So.
It's sometimes easier said than done to kind of embrace that role, but you know, talk about it. That's an important aspect, especially a lot of times the teammates are more likely to receive that properly and have that motivate them coming from another teammate than from a coach.
Yeah. I think that aspect is really important. Some kids, they're coming up now and they think the program's changed a little bit. It's not, they think that they can they're a little more lenient to them, but we got to keep them in place. You got to tell them, no, you can't do that. You got to do this. You got to get your work in. You got to get practice. You got to go into the weight room. You got to lift your weights. You got to do your work. Put in your work. You get what you get. And I think that's a really important aspect. Putting in the work and then performing on the field I think it's a great feeling. So we really try and police them on that and keep them on track.
I'm kind of hoping the same thing for you. What's that like for you to kind of embrace that mentor role and kind of set that tone?
Yeah, it's definitely important, especially coming from me because I'm not really playing baseball in the future. But I think in life you always have to be the best you possibly can in anything. So it's really coming from me. From my perspective, it's tough because I still give it my all, even though in the future I won't be playing. But I don't care no matter what because I want to be the best player I can possibly be, especially in high school, and implement that on them so we can leave a legacy and they can learn that we want to be the right role model or example, and that's what we want to live by.
Yeah, I mean, obviously you're a self-aware guy. I mean, they say it all the time. Look, the game ends for everybody. In your case, knowing that you're not going to pursue it past high school, I guess you really understand that you need to embrace these years. This is your baseball career.
Of course.
That being said, the program overall, is a nice tradition in the college pipeline. Are there any guys that have signed from this group? And if you can, just share with me what a valuable asset that is to a part of the baseball program.
At this point, we haven't had anybody sign. I know Greg has had several offers, still trying to decide where he's going to go. We have a handful of other guys that have been talking to some schools and still trying to decide. So we have not had, to this point, we haven't had any early signs. Obviously in the past, I know McCarthy has had, a handful of guys. I mean, they've had, freshmen that come into the program that aren't even on varsity that are already committed at the Division I level. And, from my past experience, as far as, and I tell guys, that's, what you see. The norm is not necessarily for guys to sign or commit early. Obviously, if you're an elite guy, yes, that's going to happen. But the majority of your guys end up signing late. So I tell guys, don't stress. It'll happen. When I played in junior college, and I tell guys when I played, very rarely did we have guys sign early. And I was one of the early signed guys on my junior college team, and I signed in May. When I was coaching, it was the same thing. I very rarely had guys sign in an early sign period. Most of our guys signed, May, June, sometimes even into July. Guys were committing. So, and my track record in junior college was we had 100% placement with most of my guys going D1. Majority of my guys went Division I programs. So, but we will. At the end of the day, we'll have guys, that'll commit to, places that are good places where they're fit, whether it be Division I, II, D3, NAIA programs, JUCO, but they'll continue on. Guys that want to continue on with their baseball career, they'll continue.
Last thing we didn't really touch on yet is let's talk a little bit about your guys' district because it's a unique aspect this year. It's down to only 3 teams.
Mm-hmm.
It really kind of puts a little more emphasis on that number 1 seed, which obviously has kind of been a tug of war for years with you guys in Heritage. But again, it's 3 teams. You're 1 game away from regionals, no matter what seed you are.
Right.
Just share that aspect and that the challenge you face in there.
Like you said, not to overlook anybody. Last year, I told our guys, even with obviously everybody looks American Heritage, that's a team you got to beat. But I never with Stranahan. Last year we went into district playoffs and people thought I was crazy, but I threw my number 1. Daniel Perrette, who's over at Stetson now. I threw him because I was like, we don't get past Stranahan, nothing else matters. Obviously, with the regular season, yes, if we can beat Stranahan during our regular season district play and manage to beat Heritage, that is huge, because now you roll into the district tournament knowing that you're automatically going to a regional. That would be huge. But even with that, if you end up as the 2 or the 3 seed and you win that first district game, and really that's for me where I put my ultimate emphasis is, hey, we want to win that first district game. If we're the 2 or the 3 seed, then it still guarantees us. I'm good with it, but definitely, going into the Heritage and Stranahan games, we're going to try and line ourselves up to win those games. No question, because if we can get that number 1 seed, that'd be great.
Yeah, like I said, it's number 1 seed so huge. You're into the regionals,
Mm-hmm.
and at the very worst, you're in a position where you have to go out, put your best out on the field, and get the win to get there. That's not a worst case scenario. That's not so bad.
No, it's not a bad situation.
Really, last thing is, just kind of share with me, the course of the schedule, the grind of the season. Do you have a benchmarks goals? Do you have an ultimate goal, or what's kind of, when you look back at the end of the year, what do you want to have happen so you'll be satisfied with those results?
Honestly, I don't necessarily set any kind of goals as far as wins, loss, anything like that. I try and take, cliche, every game, game by game. I want us to continue to get better as the season goes. We have had quite a few injuries that are they're huge losses for us. Some of the guys will get back maybe halfway through. Some of the guys we might not get back all season. But I just want us to continue to get better every day. You look at the grind of our schedule. Our schedule is, I tell them, it's a beast of a schedule. We open up our season on Wednesday with Chaminade over at their place, and then our home opener on that Friday we play IMG. But you look, additions to our schedule, what we're playing this year is in comparison to last year as far as teams that we didn't play. We're going to go to Alabama to Hoover and play in the Perfect Game High School Showdown. That's going to be
Hoover, that's a very good
that's going to be a big deal. I think it'd be great for our guys to get outside the area and play against guys from outside our state. We open up with Denham Springs out of Louisiana, and then we play Locust Grove out of Georgia. I know those are our first 2 games, and what happens after that will be determined by what we do. And then you look, we also have we added Flanagan, Cypress Bay, Cardinal Gibbons, I'm trying to think who else.
Flanagan.
I said Flanagan. Flanagan, Cypress Bay, Cardinal Gibbons. But we tried to schedule everybody that we could. That I didn't want to schedule a cream puff schedule. It's no fun going into that where the guys are just like, we're playing so and so. That's no fun. The other thing is at the end of it, ultimately, what's our goal? Our goal is to qualify to get into a regional play. Once we get into regional play, we want to be prepared for whatever we're going to see, and to give us the best chance to make it to the state tournament. And you make it to the Final Four, anything can happen. It's anybody. It's obviously there's a lot of luck involved, but I don't want our guys to be surprised by anything they're going to see. So that was a lot of the reason why we scheduled the way we did. And I'm excited. I'm excited to play it as long as we go in with the right mindset. We continue to prepare every day, continue to get better, continue to work on the process. That would make me happy. As long as we get better throughout the year, then I'll be happy. If we go backwards, not gonna be fun.
Well, I don't see that happening.
I hope not.
I wish all the best of luck for you guys. I greatly appreciate you coming and being part of this today. And here's to having a great season.
I appreciate it.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks,
Thank you guys.
Appreciate it.